Hello there, and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are once again continuing our Thrawn Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.3 preview playthrough as the Uradu Authority. In the last episode, we mostly focused on making our way up here a little bit, cleaned up some of the Imperial forces in this area, so we are going to continue building up on Shardan, so let's get that going, and we can also queue up a few more units here. So let's get Nova, let's get Not a Peltist, and that'll do it for now. I was saying we were going to get another Praetor soon, so we'll get one of them fairly soon, but I do want to just make sure we have enough ships spread around for now, and it's a bit easier to spread around ISDs than a Peltist, or than, not a Peltist, than a Praetor. Damn you, not a Peltist. But yeah, so today I think we will continue into Bothawai and possibly up to Nal Hutta. One of the problems with some of the stuff in this area is that as we start going up here, we're going to be opening ourselves to some attacks from the Empire, but we'll try to deal with that as we go a little bit. I am going to grab some of our extra ground units that we built up and get them in position. There's a pretty big rebel fleet here, not a huge fleet, but a couple units in there. And I did between episodes, on top of some of the continuing with some of the models, I started a fighter rebalance. So basically we had a spreadsheet that covered all the larger ships, but the fighters weren't on it, and just because there's so much stuff in the mod, some of the stuff was a little bit inconsistent between each other. So what I've done is I've made the new spreadsheet, put all the fighters on it, and started to adjust. Right now it's just the health and the shields. Then we're going to get into changing the weapons a little bit, changing the maneuverability and all that stuff, so that they kind of compare to each other a little bit better. We are going to be basing a good amount of the numbers off of some stuff from like the X-Wing miniature games. And when I was doing the hull and shields, it was actually pretty close to what we already had in most cases. I had to make very minor changes. So to me that was somewhat encouraging that we'd ended up with somewhat similar ideas. There were a few places where we changed it, like the TIE Defender in that game. Basically, if you've never played the miniature game, it's a tabletop game. We basically went with one hull point one point, so hull or shield, in the tabletop game is the equivalent of 5 points in EAW. So using that, like the X-Wing was at, I think, 10 shields, 15 health, which is actually pretty close to what it was in the mod before already anyways. But the TIE Defender under that would have only been 15 and 15, and that seemed fairly weak. And it seems to be generally agreed from the research I did, I haven't played a huge amount of it, that the TIE Defender is fairly underpowered in that game. So I kept that closer to what we had in the mod, where it's closer to like 30 and 30. So it is still one of the better. I think it actually still is the best fighter in the mod. But yeah, so another thing I want to do in that, like if we look in at the TIE Interceptors, well, that one blew up, so that's not good. So that's not super helpful. But when we were doing the projectile reductions, which was partially a performance thing as well, a lot of the fighters typically end up with a standard laser count of 1, so they're only shooting 1 laser. What I want to try to do, assuming it doesn't hurt performance too much, is give fighters different variants on the lasers, and that way we can have them shoot 2 to 4 and not change the damage too much with that, but just for a graphical effect so that it looks like they're doing a little bit more shooting. It should also help some fighters get through shield a little bit better. So ultimately, we do want to make some changes that allow the Imperial factions to compete with New Republic fighters a little bit better. The New Republic should still have the best fighters and should still rely on those. But in a lot of cases, it was really hard for the Imperial factions to really do anything about that at all. And that is not fantastic. So we will be trying to give them some recourse with that. Here. So yeah, you can see the... When they were close enough there, you could see the projectile counts from that. It's not a lot. So it's more of a graphical change, really, than a balance change that the laser counts would have, but because everything's changing balance-wise anyways, it'll work out that way. But that's basically the idea behind the changes we're trying to make. So we'll see how that goes, and then there are still some other like ship-based balance changes we want to make. So a lot of that will continue to change, but that kind of stuff we were already able to track. Like the big thing here is that we have the more organized now, so it's a bit easier to see where stuff is over or underpowered, or over or underperforming, or over or understated specifically. Sometimes there's like other confounding factors that aren't immediately obvious, but may be affecting balance in some way. So a good example of that, I'd say, is the Nebula class, where their stats aren't that different from the ISD. They're actually quite close, but in practice, in game, the Nebula was able to pretty heavily outperform a lot of Imperial class ships where they should have been closer. Like Nebulas are still supposed to be like the newest and some of the best ships, but they were getting a little bit too much done from what their stats should suggest. So just that kind of stuff, where even something as simple as their position on the Z layer could impact it.
Star Destroyer standing by. Reporting. Star Destroyer.
We've lost all of our fighters now.
Lasers are our target.
I think these guys should be in response range to those fighters, or to those assault frigates. I'm not sure why they're not
Awaiting orders.
moving out.
Attack that target. Awaiting your orders. Heading
I'm gonna send you in.
destination.
Maybe I'm just wrong about what the range is.
I copy. Bombers
Awaiting your
proceeding.
command.
Okay, you guys can start going in.
Your
And
command.
you are gonna go up there. Indefatigable. This a regular ISD?
Commander.
Yeah.
Reporting.
I might start selling some of those to swap them in with patron ships. And I'm thinking for the future LPs, I'll just take the
We're moving out.
patron ships and swap them in for the starting forces.
Yes, sir.
That way, it's not as much of a wait for some people to get their ship in game
Must be destroyed.
or in the
Our
playthrough.
target priority is the laser cannons.
Zed, go here.
Fire at will. Copied. Attacking.
When we've got, I'm going to say 50% of the military power in the galaxy, I'm going to sacrifice all of our heroes in one episode. I'll try to keep them alive until then, though. That's going to be my goal. Keep the heroes alive,
Star Destroyer
just to
standing
sacrifice them so we can kill Voldemort later.
by. The lasers are our target. Star Destroyer reporting in.
I take the Dumbledore approach to this.
Awaiting orders.
Alright,
Awaiting your orders.
Yes, sir.
over there.
Target in sight.
Mostly bombers, so
Awaiting your command.
it's not going to be fantastic for us, but
Command, sir. Commander, engaging the enemy. We've got them on scopes. Full speed.
Yes, Commander.
oh, there's an interceptor.
Reporting in. Roger that.
Okay, we definitely need to kill the starbase first.
Form up. Destroyer here.
Coming around. Ready. Advancing on target.
Okay, so yeah, so hopefully over the course of the week, the first stages of that fighter rebalancing will get finished.
Move out.
But at least getting the stats in and all recorded.
Star Destroyer standing
I'm
by.
sure there'll be more and more changes as we go, but
Tightening up. Enemies in range.
the big thing is always just recording stuff. Then you can at least see where you stand.
Let's finish him.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Alright, so fighters aren't a huge problem. I mean, they are a huge problem, but once the ships are dead, they're generally going to retreat. We have our small group of bombers and fighters going after these guys. So. There we go. It took a lot of damage, but that's... Close doesn't matter. Close doesn't count. What do you got here? That's a lot of stuff. Alright, you guys go over here. And Bob, one of the things that Bob's been working on is getting some of the... some basically dummy fighters and bombers into the fighter loadouts for ships, so that the AI will be able to perceive carriers a little bit better. Because basically the way it was working before is, in the base game, when the fighters are recorded, the fighter spawns are recorded in the actual unit coding, which is the way it works in Base Empire War. They count towards the combat power of the ship, whereas when we spawn them in with Lua, it doesn't. So some of the carriers were being undervalued by auto-resolve and by the AI. But the problem is, if you try to just put add the fighter's combat power directly to the ship, the AI will treat it as if that ship is that powerful and tactical as well. So it would be like sending a Quasar in to go and do all the deeps, which it will definitely not be able to do. So basically we've worked in, easiest way to put it is just like some fake fighters into the ship so that it has a rough idea of its carrying capacity, but it's we're still using all the flexibility of the Lua system. So that should really help smooth out some of the AI's use of carriers, as well as some parts of auto-resolve weirdness.
Just give me a target.
Yes, sir. We've secured a landing zone.
Setting course.
I am en route.
Right, they're just going to keep floating over the river.
Yes, Commander. Tank brigade ready.
I'm going to keep going up this way. If you want to shoot them, no, that's going away. Okay, you're just going to go up there, and you're going to get that for us.
Roger.
Need coordinates. Roger that. Scanning target.
AT-AT ready.
Form up. Moving to fire.
Armored transport ready.
All right.
Choose your reinforcements.
Acknowledged.
Transmission received.
Awaiting orders.
Can you guys deal with this?
Target. Moving.
I believe Jord has started going through and adding some of the target bones, which I believe I talked about, to help with some of the targeting against some of the ground stuff that things are now a bit more prone to missing. So that should start improving a little bit. That kind of thing I'm hoping that we can get out in a patch to the live version as well, because some of those changes did make it out into the live 2.2.5 version, which is not what we wanted to do, but it ended up happening.
T2B over.
All right, let's go.
Destroyed.
On it, sir.
Did that one throw?
My way.
Yes, it did.
Moving out.
Yeah, that was close. Oh God.
Right away.
Bomber standing by. T2B, copy. Commence attack. I've got him in my sight. Forward front.
Roger that.
Form up. Target acquired.
AT-AT destroyed.
Did not know that turret was there.
Advance.
All right, this was horribly handled.
Armor standing by. And charge.
destroyed.
Just give me a target. Order acknowledged. Charge!
Moving to secondary position.
Tank brigade ready.
Form up.
Turret constructing.
Affirmative. Scanning target.
Okay, well let's just start off by killing all the Bothans.
Ball out. Your orders, Commander? I am ready.
My poor little army
What is
troopers.
your order?
Deploying stormtroopers.
Use your orders. Ready to fire. Let's move out. Let's go.
Okay, that's all the... Nope,
Keep going.
not all the Bothans.
As you command. Yes, General.
No MPTLs. Okay.
Roger that. This way.
How are you guys doing over here? Alright, still killing a bunch of civilians.
Rolling out.
Okay, there should be, what, 2 or 3 of those? Okay, now we can finish off the Bothans. I'll keep my forces together now. I was assuming the artillery would be a bit farther back.
Right away. Attacking.
I'll probably try to get in some of the turret changes this week as well. Those are the 2 major things that are on my whiteboard right now. So,
Heading out.
as much as I like writing on my whiteboard, I like erasing from it even more. Right, just finish off the buildings.
Ready to roll. Advance.
Standing by. Heading in. Attack. Fire. Open fire.
I kind of wanted to avoid using powder weapons because it'll drain the shields, but since they're mostly dead there,
Let's move out.
I think we're okay. Got
Roger
it.
that.
And nope, I wanted to keep you selected.
Form up.
And then,
Bombing run available.
oh, the Senate's here.
Bomber squadron reporting.
I can't remember if this is where we started.
Bombing run.
I think it might be.
Awaiting orders.
Target locked.
Alright. Lost our bombers, but they lost the Senate and the barracks.
I'll copy.
Reporting in,
You
sir.
are going to get us some infantry,
Reporting.
because then we can capture stuff.
Copy.
Awaiting orders.
Hmm.
Right away.
Specifically, this.
Repair station
Yes, sir.
constructing.
Let's go.
Ready
Construction
to receive your
complete.
transmission.
Alright. Oh, that's also helpful.
Copy.
Let's go get that.
Moving to that area, sir.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, you better move to that area, sir.
Ready.
I read you. I copy.
Okay, I guess you...
I copy.
I want to get the
Reporting.
floating fortress over there, but... Is that empty? That is empty.
Copy.
Okay, AT, can you... Yeah, I think if we screen it with the infantry, it can take out the turret.
Excellent.
Don't shoot that.
Is acknowledged.
Don't shoot that.
I anticipate no problems. I am en route.
Here, you guys move over.
Reporting.
Order
You're
acknowledged.
clearly experiencing issues.
Awaiting your orders. You can start your advance momentarily.
Yes, Commander.
I really wish you wouldn't do that.
Orders, Commander? They call
No,
that
you
a
want to
defense.
shoot that.
Coordinates received. Confirmed and compliant.
Order, sir. Heading out.
Alright.
away.
That's fine, I guess.
We've secured an abandoned sector.
There we go.
Ready for
I
orders.
guess we'll bomb there.
Attack run.
Yeah, this is all just economy stuff.
Initiate bombing run.
We can start making our way across the river.
Standing by. Keep going. We've
'Cause we're pretty much done, right? Yeah. Nice, got both.
this way.
There's some more houses up there.
What is your order? Ready to attack that target.
I feel like especially with the missiles,
Fire at will.
the 2Ms are a lot more useful now.
Over there.
They no longer just fall apart, and they also bring
Charge.
an extra damage source.
Moving to position. Moving.
I mean, they still fall apart just as easily,
Heading target.
but I mean, like, they know that the only thing they do is no longer fall apart. They also damage stuff.
Let's roll. Moving to fire.
We'll have to fix the stuff with the, I keep forgetting to write that down. That is something I should do. The civilian spawn houses not showing up on the minimap. Okay. I think that's still a leftover issue from
Moving us.
prisons.
As you command.
Okay, AT-AT, you're just gonna go straight in.
Give me a target. Target. Right away.
Alright.
Open fire. Attack that target. Heading out. Attacking target. Fall out. Fire.
But yeah, since I brought it up yesterday, I think what I'm gonna do for the polls for the next version or for the next playthroughs, I'm gonna do the next ICW preview playthrough as like a full public poll. So that should be on the community tab today already. So while you're watching this, if you go to the community tab on the channel, there should be a link to a poll for that. That you guys can just comment on your... I'm not sure if I'm going to do it as a straw poll or just comment thing, but either way, it'll be on the community tab right now. We obviously will probably be playing this playthrough for a little while, but so yeah, you'll be able to pick who we play next, and then for the Fall of the Republic one, I'm just going to do that as the patron poll. So then there's a little bit for everyone there. The Fall of the Republic poll won't be up quite yet, but maybe it will. Yeah, I'm just going to post both today. We'll get 2 polls up.
I will crush them.
Be really wild like that.
Bombing run
Standing
available.
by. As you
Okay,
command.
what is still alive? This bunker? Yeah.
Bombers at the ready.
Here we go.
Defeated.
Pretty long battle.
Planetary control achieved. Beginning construction.
I think I will go with Bothwise and Economic Center. Do we want to go up to Talicia? That might be a bad idea. Let's think about going in for or for Yagdal. Because Endor is probably not going to be an issue. Let's see.
Unit in production. Construction complete.
Let's go with
Construction complete.
Cordial Discourse. And yeah, I kind of do want to go in for Morgia here. I'm not sure what they have there. Diablos. Let's just go in. Because it doesn't really open up any new choke points. I was trying to leave it at Morgia because then they can't get anything from Endor or Yagdal. But really, I don't think there's going to be much attacking from Endor. I'm really hoping that the Empire of the Hand just decides to attack, but not us, but they don't seem to want to, so at least it acts as a buffer.
There they are. Blast them.
They've actually, the Empire of the Hand's actually been kind of active in the north, but really, the way they're set up,
Reinforcements.
the Empire of the Hand isn't meant to be especially aggressive until later. Era 5, I I think. Alright, so we've got Giant Triangle of Doom. Which lives up to its name. Strike Fast.
To coordinate.
Damocles. Implacable. Outer Rim Annoyance. Legacy of the Republic. Marauder. Back from the Dead. As well as, I'm Broke Back from the Dead.
Direct
Take out
fire
the
on
engine so they're not getting out. Diablos. Get over here. Then 55th Brommer Wing. Supremacy and Visionary, I believe. Fighter Popper. Aristotle. Peacemaker. And Vader Shadow.
awaiting orders.
So they're making up our fleet right now. What is this raid fleet going to be? If we see it. We could definitely end up missing it. Yeah, it looks like
We are victorious.
we'll never know. The world will never know. I wonder if it would show up in the AI log. I think it would. If you're there's a debug exe for the game that just spits out some useful information, and I assume that it would show up in there, tell us what was actually going on with that. Let's get the ATSTs over here,
Construction complete.
and you know what? Let's take a moment to. Oh, Dagoneers has been killed at Ordrassi. Let's see. Empire's at 24 planets owned with 22% military strength. New Republic's at 10% military strength with 16 planets owned. Empire of the Hand is 5% military strength with 16 planets owned. PA's at 14 planets owned with 21% of military strength. Maldrude's at 8 and 9. Zinj is at 5 and 9. We're at 22 and 21. And the Warlords are at 1 and 1. So one of the things that Bob actually, I think, just found out right before I started recording is that the game, for those stats, unfortunately, the game doesn't seem to take into account stuff that is in transit. So generally, it's probably significantly different, significantly higher for the AI because they have a ton of stuff always traveling. But it's still relatively close-ish, and I don't know if there's really much you can do about it otherwise. But let's actually see. So, Empire of the Hand and New Republic. And the Empire should be almost twice as much. So what was it? 25 for them. 9 and 6. Yeah, so you can see this is a little bit off from what you'd expect from the graph, where the Empire of the Hand is at 6, 9, and then 25. So is that... Yeah, because this seems like it's less than twice as much as that. So it's still, the graphs are still definitely useful information. It's just, it's not going to be a perfect representation of what the galaxy looks like. This poor body under there. What is that? Is that a Mandalorian? No, it's a pirate of some kind, I think. Oh well.
Choose your reinforcements.
Poor those guys.
On my way, sir.
Inputting coordinates.
Reinforcements en route.
Right, so we know we have to come up against an AT-AT at some point.
Reporting. Fallout troops. The enemy is approaching. All right, men, take cover. Ready.
Yes, sir.
Engaging enemy.
Awaiting your orders.
Okay, so Strang, get over here.
Sensor zone constructed.
Hopefully it doesn't destroy my sensor node.
Moving to secondary position.
So close. Oh, there's the AT-AT.
Moving out.
Okay, you guys get over here.
Order acknowledged.
Let's get an AV turret. No, I guess yeah, you should all finish off that AT-ST.
Reporting.
Nope, you need to attack the AT-AT. Try to draw it in. There we go. Not bad. Okay, I'm actually going to sell that and I'm going to get a repair platform.
Yes, Commander.
So once this ATPT is dead, I think that's everything in this area.
As you wish, General.
Let's get over there and get healed up.
Construction complete.
Heard it over towards or something? No, well. I just got back from seeing
Affirmative, sir.
Jurassic World 2. And that's like... I know the whole premise of Jurassic Park and all the sequels thereof is like people making dumb decisions. But Jurassic World 2 has to have like a higher concentration of the dumbest decisions in any of the movies.
Awaiting orders.
Like, yeah, starting the parks was just a horrible idea.
Yes, Commander.
That's more like misguided stuff and less about the actual characters in the moment doing something incredibly dumb for the most part, unless it's like supposed to be one of the bad characters. But just Jurassic World 2 is just like
Ready.
everyone does the most incorrect thing they can think of at any given moment, and it's just like, please stop. Oh well.
Reporting in.
All right.
Enemy sighted.
Get over here. So yeah, the AT-STs will probably get their other weapon types when we get to them with the rework stuff. Kind of like the 2M tanks got their missiles.
Moving out.
So that all should be coming. I'm not sure exactly when we'll get around to that. I'm
Landing zone.
not sure if we're gonna wait for some of the art stuff to be redone or re-rigged, or if we'll just code it in on
Repair station constructing.
on existing bones, just so that it's all in game. We can start working on the actual balance and that kind of stuff. But it will happen at some point, so you'll start seeing that kind of stuff in the
Construction.
playthroughs.
Transport ready.
But it looks like we're pretty much through here. I'm not sure where other stuff would be.
Reporting in. Heading up.
So I think it is just the structure, or the structures.
Roger that. All out.
There's that one. Strang. Run over here.
Ready to receive orders. Come in.
No, there's stuff elsewhere. Okay, Strang, you're gonna run that way.
Watch this.
You guys are gonna go over here. I know that this is here. I'm just not sure if it's actually accessible. It seems like it's not. Weir, can you get over there? I don't think so.
Watch this.
Alright, we'll need the AT-AT.
Form up. Let's move out.
Get in a back to tank. Just a back to tank out in the open. Seems sanitary. Okay, Weir, you will go down here though.
Watch this.
Just need to make sure we're getting all the scouting done.
Let's go.
And Strang, you're probably fine now too.
Watch this.
Go and help Weir.
Copy. Keep going.
Alright, so get back over here. I'm gonna get AV turret.
I copy.
Surprised they haven't retreated without any structures.
Construction complete.
Ugh.
Comlink active. Commencing bombing run.
I guess I don't really have that many units here. Here we go.
Reporting. Proceeding to target.
I really need another AT-AT in this group, so we'll have to stop getting them killed. Nope, come on, don't scare him away. We need him to run at the turret.
Yeah.
That better be the last one. There we go.
Been defeated. Planetary control achieved.
Alright, Yagdol is ours.
Building under
Which means
construction.
those, the HV guns on Morja, are now not going to do much for us.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Let's get Sword of Siswana,
Production.
and can probably start setting up a fleet to guard. Oh, I didn't even see what was there. To guard
Unit in production. Construction complete.
Bothawai while we go up north. So I would like to go to Nalhada sooner than later, but we also need a little bit more on the ground. So
Vehicle in production.
I need to stop getting them killed.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Recruiting. Recruitment.
Enlisting.
Alright, let's park
Moving
two of them there to start with.
Imminent.
Oh. What? Oh, they are attacking. Let's see what we can do.
The enemy has
I think we'll be
spotted.
fine. The reinforcements from the station, plus the Golans,
Reinforcements en
Lander
route.
ready. Lander
and our
reporting.
happy little Lambda with our
Activating energy flux.
probe droid in it.
This will save us some damage.
Ready for command, sir.
Why do you have so many fighters? What? This seems incorrect.
Ready for
I mean, it doesn't just seem incorrect. This is most assuredly incorrect.
Reinforcements en
This should
route.
give them a hard time. Lowering enemy fire
Reinforcements
impact.
en route. Reinforcements en route.
Comlink active.
Oh!
Arrival.
My
in
probe
the-
droid!
Sir. Awaiting your command. We're on the move.
Alright,
Closing on
kill the X-Wings.
Station under attack.
But there, yeah, you can see the way they fire there, too. Not ideal.
Maneuvering. Attack position.
Roger that. Commencing attack run.
Roger that. Attack.
Warm up. Awaiting orders. Copy. I copy.
Yes, Commander.
Coming back around for another. Target.
Yeah, we're good.
Excellent shot. Intercepting. I've got it.
Weapons.
They didn't really have the option to build much at Endor, so I don't blame them. But
Target locked.
still,
Find them. I have them now.
well, I guess they're getting a lot of damage out.
Eliminating target. Target.
Weapons ready, sir.
I got one. I'm on them.
Enemies incoming.
Here, take out the Marauder.
Space station under attack.
Ready for action. Enemies in range.
Are they actually going to kill a Golan?
Getting a lock. Intercepting.
I'm sad now.
Roger that.
Stay in formation.
There we go.
Warm up.
Eliminating target.
Enemy target sighted.
Get behind them.
Attack.
I'm less sad now.
Have them now. Target locked. I'm on them.
Bye, rebels. I'll think about putting them out of their misery soon. Alright, I guess we don't have a... Yeah, so I think what we'll do is
Unit
deconstruct one of the
preparation.
Golans, and let's get a trade
Beginning
port.
Construction.
We'll get a bit more income out of it that way.
Courier
And
reporting.
now we're going to check what they've got. Oh. We're going to check what they've got though. You're going to go over to our new fleet,
Heading out.
and I guess I'll get a level 2 station
Beginning construction.
Bothwise. So, oh, nope. What do you got? Oh, they've got an abundance of ground forces there too. That's part of their problem. The NR has a lot of planets in the north, but they're getting pretty beaten down. It's basically us, the PA, the Empire, and then everyone else has the other quarter of forces. So Zinj, Maldrud, New Republic, Empire of the Hand.
Mauler ready.
It doesn't seem like the PA is able to expand that much right now, though. I guess, no, is that Era 3 or something for them? Yeah, I think that's why.
Construction complete.
Because the Empire of the Hand and the PA are both supposed to be a bit more passive earlier on. But I think we actually will leave that there for today's episode. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. Remember, if you want to vote on which faction we play in our next preview playthrough, then that is on the community page. That's just go to the channel page and add like /community there. And I think that's how you get to it. I'll try to maybe post in the comments the link to it for if anyone's having any trouble finding it, just to be sure. But thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.